Hi guys, so the book that I chose to review for this multicultural book review is called The Other Side. It's written by Jacqueline Woodson. This is the same author that wrote Each Kindness, which Professor Reed read to us during the Think Aloud. So the selection criteria for this story is that it uses realistic fiction to exemplify the life, culture, and relationships of African Americans and whites during segregation. This book is ranked number 68 in children's 1900s American historical fiction, 103 in children's prejudice and racism books, and 153 in children's African American storybooks. On this next slide is all the awards that this book has received. There are a ton, so if you want to read through them, you're more than welcome to pause this video, but I'm going to move on. So now we are going to discuss the grade level and Lexile scores. So the grade level for this story is 1st through 3rd grade, but it can be used in 4th through 6th grade also because of the content. So since it does talk about segregation, it gets into a deeper topic, but also is wrote in a very simple way that students in 1st and 3rd grade can understand it. So depending on what activity you would do with it, depends on what grade you would want to use it with. But the reading level, as we could see below, for the Lexile score is 300, which is in the 2nd grade at grade level category, and that would be in 1st grade reading above grade level. And for struggling readers in 3rd grade, this also might be a good fit for them. So to summarize what this story was about, The Other Side was about two girls, Annie and Clover, who live on opposite sides of a fence which stretches through their segregated town. Annie is the white character in the story, and Clover is the African American character. So growing up, both girls were told by their mothers that when they play that they may not cross the fence because it was not safe. Both girls started to notice each other. They were the same age, and they were curious about the things that the other girls were doing. One day, Annie asks Clover and her friends when they're jump roping if she can play with them, and they say no. Later that summer, Clover is feeling extra brave that day and decides to walk over near the fence where Annie is sitting. They begin to have a conversation, and Annie invites Clover to sit on top of the fence with her. She says the view is amazing from up here and that she has to try it. At first, Clover is hesitant, but Annie convinces her that it's okay, that sitting on the fence is not technically crossing the fence, so that their parents won't get mad. This becomes something that they do every day, despite what looks they get from the other kids. One day, Clover asks her friends if her and Annie can come jump rope. These are the same friends who were with Clover the first time when Annie asked to join, and they said no. This time, the friends decide to let them join. When they're done playing, they all climb up on the fence together and talk about how they hope that someday someone will come back and knock down this fence. So on this story is based in the 1950s during a period of segregation, and it's in a small town where there was a physical fence that divided it, and on one side of the fence lived Annie's family, the white family, and on the other side lived Clover's family, the African American family. And both their mothers had told them from a very young age that they are not to cross the fence because it is dangerous. And so the story is about them kind of like venturing into their curiosity and becoming friends. So this quote is something that I pulled off of Jacqueline Woodson's website, and this is why she wrote the book. She says, "I wanted to write about how powerful kids can be. Clover and Annie fight against segregation by becoming friends. They don't believe in the ideas that adults have about things, so they do what they can to change the world. We all have this power." So she wrote this story to show that we all have the power, and that kids especially can be so powerful because they don't overthink things like adults do. So my response as a reader. So I thought this was a super beautiful story that showed how children can have that blindness in a sense to our differences. I feel that as we grow older, we start to form biases and stereotypes towards particular groups of people. One thing that children are better at adults is accepting other people because, like I said, they don't overthink this. I read this story a total of 3 times. The first time that I read this story, I thought it was simple yet beautiful. The second time I read it, I began to notice the symbolism within it and realized that at the end, when they say maybe one day someone will come and knock down this fence, they don't mean the physical fence. They mean that one day they hope that segregation will go away and that everyone will be able to play together. The third time that I read this story, I picked up on the mom's reaction to the whole situation. How she would watch from afar to make sure that her daughter was safe, but she did allow her daughter to do her own thing. I thought it was beautiful how the author portrayed the mother. When Clover's mother asked her, "I see you might have made a new friend," Clover nervously shakes her head yes, because she thinks her mom is going to yell at her. But then all her mom does is just smile. This simple action was showing that she approved of their friendship without verbalizing it. Overall, I really love this story, and I would love to use it in my future classroom. Some connections that students can make. So students can ask themselves these things and reflect on this while they're reading. So how have I made friends? Like, in what ways in the past have I made friends? Am I friends with any of my neighbors? Have I ever asked to play with someone and they told me no? How did this make me feel? Do I have any friends who are a different race than I am? So even though the story does focus on a deeper message of segregation, it can be used in a different way, in a simpler way, for students who are younger who may not understand this. This can just be about making friends, or just making friends who are different than we are. Some teaching ideas and activities that I thought of. So I think the story can be used as an introductory to civil rights and used for a lesson on segregation. It's a quick story to read, but it leaves behind such a deep message once you dive into it. For older students, grades 4 through 6, I think that after reading, they can explore different types of research and apply what they learned. So they can search up questions like, what is segregation? When did this occur? Why is segregation a thing? Who fought in the civil rights movement to ban segregation? And what are some laws that involve segregation? Going back to the third question that I said, so who fought in the civil rights movement to ban segregation? I think that this would be a beautiful activity to do during February, during Black History Month. This activity could lead into a project where the students have to research a powerful African American, and it could be related to civil rights or maybe not, but going along this book, it would be related to civil rights, and then they can share with their peers about what they learned. And so they all could do like a different one, or they could do this in groups. And so then they get to learn about a variety of different people. The next activity that I think would be fun to do is use this book during a unit on symbolism. There are so many different ways that symbolism is used in this story, and so to just take the time to like dive into that. So I found a pre-made handout for 6th graders that was created by Scholastics that goes through different questions about symbolism, and I have that attached in my template. I think that even though this is for 6th grade, it could still be used as a guide and adapted to fit other grades. The next activity could be an interactive read aloud. I did find a pre-wrote interactive read aloud that was planned out on Reading Rockets, so that even though this was for a 1st grade class, you can adapt this, as with the previous activity. And then for another activity, I think this could be used to prompt an after reading journal entry. And so I thought a cool question to ask would be, have the students write about something that has acted as a fence in their life and separated them from another person or a group of people. And so this activity can help you to know your student on a deeper level. This might be something that's super personal for them, so it can stay between the student and the teacher. It doesn't have to be spread around the class. Or if the students are comfortable sharing, they would have the opportunity to share with their peers. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for listening. And on this next slide is my resources if you want to check out anything that I was talking about. Have a wonderful day.